Namaste and welcome to my review for the United Book Lovers Club of this month's theme, Indian fiction, and I chose Ruskin Bond's Tales and Legends from India to review. Of course, I had read my book before, but it's always a pleasure to reread books that you like. And Ruskin Bond, of course, is a fabled author, and he barely ever sets a word wrong. It has been a pleasure to read his output, his prolific output, I must say. And even though these stories are sort of not just inspired but actual retellings of many stories that are part of the rich tapestry of Indian mythology and folklore, I think that Ruskin Bond is a legend, and that is why Tales and Legends from India is an absolute must read, especially if you have young kids who might be too distracted with their screens these days. Then I think this book might give them a little glimpse of the imagination, of the flights of fancy that used to be there when India was, in its storied mythological past. So, the book is divided into three sections: Tales from the Epics, Tales from the Jatak, and Regional Tales and Legends. And there are quite a few of them. Some of them are pretty short. I will talk about a one-page story in particular in just a moment. But I want to point out, as I opened the contents page, that this is one of my favorites because it is signed by the author himself. And I also managed to get his autograph on my copy of Douglas Adams' The Salmon of Doubt. And what I had done was, I had sort of put it underneath his book, Ruskin Bond's book, while I was at Times Lit Fest in 2017 or maybe 16, at the India Habitat Center in Delhi. And as soon as he signed this, I just slipped this one towards me and I requested him, "Sir, could you please sign this book as well?" And he looked up with a wry smile and he said, "Why not?" And very graciously put his sign on Douglas Adams' book. And that reminds me, before I get on, not giving away the spoilers or anything of this book, but just a generic overall view of what you get when you read this book. I want to point out that, speaking of Douglas Adams, Project Bibliotherapy were gracious enough to gift me this excellent 42 anniversary edition of The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. But I'm very grateful for that, and I'm really happy with the book. I mean, it's got that nice new book smell, and it's so flowy and full of lots of extra edition things. But it pales in comparison to this, my, as you can see, very much worn and torn and read so many times and passed through so many hands copy. This was actually a great friend, Vivek Gupta, who alas is no more, who gave me this book for the first time to read, and triggers memories, and triggers our imagination. So, speaking of imagination, let's get back to Ruskin Bond's Tales and Legends from India. As I told you before, there are three sections: the epics, the Jatak, and regional tales and legends. So, while you might say that flights of fancy are fine for mythology, but what is this about Indian fiction? I think that we tend to build our society on the values and the morals laid down in prehistoric or historic India. And that is why going through these tales and legends gives us a bit of insight into how our society currently functions from the top down. And even though there are many, many areas for improvement, there are, of course, some very solid unifying aspects that keep India, the most populous nation in the world, together. And it just reinforces our unity in diversity. Of course, I say all these things impromptu with just a couple of points noted down that I must not miss. So do feel free to share with me in the comments what you think, not just about Ruskin Bond or this book or Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, but about books in general and life, the universe and everything, which of course is the title of the third part of this trilogy in 4 parts. Okay, so let me read you the blurb from the back. India is more than a land, it is an atmosphere, and this book is designed to give the reader the feel of India and recapture some of its old magic. So that is why I think that this book has triggered a lot of good emotions in me as I was going through it, and I tried and succeeded in a certain way to get my little baby daughter also involved in reading. Of course, she has her own board books and everything, but I think she really, got the hang of following words on the page while I was reading this book, because she was observing me as I was reading. And the reason why I was reading this over this long weekend instead of, going out to explore some new place in Delhi NCR or going out to meet family was because I was sick, and I was sick with fever, and fever is what Shiva's anger is manifested as. So this is the 1-page story I was telling you about. It's titled Shiva's Anger, and it tells of how when Shiva was pursuing a demon, I won't give away the spoiler, but Shiva was pursuing a demon of his own creation to destroy it before it destroyed the universe. Shiva's perspiration, just like this perspiration from my brow, fell on the earth, and that is how the fever illness was born, and that is how it plagues man and animal alike sometimes when you're unlucky, along with other diseases. But let's not go down any negative roads. Let's try and stay positive in our lives as well, not just while we are reading good books. So on that note, I will draw this review to a close. I must admit that some of the stories are a little too simplistic, and but that's the good part about reading. You have to suspend your disbelief. Just the same thing as when you're watching horror movies, supernatural stuff, mythological things, superhero movies. So you have to suspend your disbelief to actually enjoy what the creator is trying to tell you, and that is what Ruskin Bond has succeeded in doing for 99% of the book. And I must say that the source material, India's mythology, is very well showcased in this collection of tales. So let me just take a quick look down and see that I haven't missed anything. So it seems that I can sign off with a bit of a satisfied smile and say that please tinkle on. And this is another gift from Project Bibliotherapy, by the way. So huge shout out to them. Please do check out their link. I'll try and remember to leave it in the description. Huge shout out and special thank you sorry, to the United Book Lovers Club. Thank you so much. I'm Akshat. Goodbye, take care, and stay safe.